Hello and welcome to the PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on in the PM store. How are we doing this week, gentlemen? We all good?
Fine, thank you very much. Not too bad at all.
Yep, super duper.
All enjoying the new spring weather?
Yes, fantastic.
Too springy too soon for me.
Too springy. It's lovely here. Look, I'm in a t-shirt, no hoodie or anything today. I've still got multiple layers on, clearly, because I'm a girl, but, you know.
It feels like we've had autumn and spring.
Yes.
Winter's sort of like gone missing.
Yes.
We have no snow at all here.
We have a couple of sprinkles and that's it for us. So.
We've had some frost, though.
Yeah, we've had some good frost.
You get frost in spring and autumn, don't you? But you don't get that's the winter.
You get it in summer up your way, up north.
Not last summer, we didn't.
No, definitely not last summer. That was a good one. Anyway, so lots of things been going on, but unfortunately not many releases, and we haven't had much in this week, have we? We've had one of those quite quiet weeks.
It has been a little bit, yeah. It's been a bit quieter, shall we say.
Yes, it'd be nice if the manufacturers could do releases like they release films. Like,
yes.
They all go, right, if you're releasing it that week, we'll do ours the week after. And it'll make our job a lot easier because it's either we've got 20 kits have all come out this 1 week and the warehouse is full of it, or we've got nothing. And this is one of those nothing weeks, unfortunately. So,
from my point of view of doing the mugs for the past week,
yes,
thank God for.
It probably has been a bit of a blast actually because they took a bit of getting through and stuff. So yes, the rest of them, like I say, will be on general sale as soon as we know what we've got, really, because majority have gone out now, haven't they, for the members. So obviously the rest of them will just, like I say, we'll put them up in the shop. And also our super duper clocks are ordered, so they should be ready by end of the week.
Very nice.
By end of the week, is it? All right, cool.
Yeah, that's what was said. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully, probably Saturday I have to go and pick them up on the weekend, like I did with them all. So yes, but, so all good in that respect. But yeah, kit wise, like I said, a bit quieter.
Very quiet.
There's stuff happening in the background and stuff coming in and whatever, but yeah, like I say, news-wise, the only thing that's come out is what we'll talk about is border models, U-boat, conning tower.
Yes, thanks to the people over at the Modelling News. We'll pinch their photos because they are quite good.
Yep.
But yeah, this is something where I think we've got a proper, there we go. So yeah, this is something where I've got quite excited about these because I quite fancy doing some turrets and that. As I say, I think doing ships, from my point of view anyway, they're just too big, take too long, But I really do like doing naval subjects. So things like the guns, the equipment, and obviously this section here, which is, as you can see, just the actual conning tower in 1/35th scale as well. So no really fiddly photo etch and all things like that. Suits me as my style of modelling. I really do like it. So, yes. What's your thoughts? Are you into this type of thing? You see yourself building it?
I think it's got a lot of potential, especially as well with the trend of doing like resin water and stuff as well.
I don't. Is there enough of it there to do a waterline diorama there? Because the back's sort of cut off a bit too.
Yeah, but you could have it. You could angle it. I know what you're saying. You could get round it, and there will be. You wait. Somebody will do it, and it will.
Yeah. Because I thought about, I know it's been done before very nicely, but they do the book, so you get the boat book, isn't it? Yeah. And then you could just put the back end of it into the crack, and you could have it like that. And I think if you did like a water scene on top of it, I can imagine going to shows and seeing 20 of them. Everyone's going to do that.
Like the back end and the front end are cut off. If you actually make your base the size of
size,
it doesn't really matter, does it? You know what I mean? Because it fits then. You've got a massive expanse of just nothing where you should have the rest of it. But I think
you often on armour, don't you, where it's been cut off?
Exactly, And I think it's got a lot of potential because the crew's coming out as well. I don't think that's released yet, but you're going to get a crew with it. And like I say, it's the business part of a U-boat, isn't it? I know, obviously, you've got your torpedo tubes and all the other bits, but like I say, you're going to have a massive model then. That like Phil, we were just discussing before we came on, had the 48th one there a good few years ago, the trumpeter one, and that's massive. That is huge.
To put that into perspective, you go back a couple of years now, it was here, built, all lights and sounds, absolutely a mega kit. But it took up more than my bench. It was hanging off both sides.
Yeah.
So, and that's in 48. So imagine it in 35th.
But just yeah, he's not doable, is it? It's, I think they thought it through, and obviously that's the best solution for a 35th U-boat, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I think you've got enough detail and enough interest, as you say, in that section, like we were saying. I think if you was to be doing it, I'm thinking perhaps, you had the crew set up with a deck gun. More than doing the torpedo loading, you could make some very interesting set dioramas, especially if you did some water effects with it and stuff like that. And let's face it, the people who do this do amazing water effects, the way through. Even if you just have the crew sat on the, at the top of the conning tower, they're looking forward, a bit like Das Boat with it running through, isn't it, with the waves coming over it, and you didn't have anything on the deck gun and that, it would still make an absolutely fantastic.
I think the torpedo was in a U-boat pen, or you built sort of like a U-boat pen.
Like I said,
if you had a wharf or a bit of a dock next to it with some figures around it as well, and go depth that way instead of that way, then absolutely.
There is a few kits out actually. I think Italy used to, because when they did their 35th Schnell boats and Vospers and stuff, they did like you say, a key side.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, Mini Art did one as well. I don't know what they're doing with their back form bases, to be honest. It's kind of gone by the wayside, obviously, at the minute. I wonder if they'll bring it back, because they did some interesting stuff as well. But there is options that, and again, I don't think it'd be hard to build one out of foam and the usual diorama scratch building stuff. It looked really good, actually. Loads of scope, I think, for that. Like I say, it's getting my brain going now you've said that.
I must admit, when I first saw it, if anybody's ever used to play the computer game of James, like Longbow and like the F-15, if you remember the opening titles, they always had a submarine used to come out of the book. I'll try and find it and edit it in, but it's actually, that's where I sort of get mine for it. But I remember years ago, somebody had a copy, I think it was, of Das Boot. And they had the U-boat coming out of it, literally out of it, breaking through the water. And that was absolutely phenomenal, beautiful one as well. And something like that, I think you could actually do something really quite interesting with it. But as you say, I think, now the mind's going as well, a little wharf, and you could have some vehicles. And again, it's the right scale, because it's 35th scale. You could put all the utilities with it. And let's face it, Mini Art, you could have everything from pigeons on it, through to bottles of wine.
But you could. You really could. There's so many accessories out there, or you could have an Opal Blitz.
Definitely.
With stuff in the back or whatever. There's loads in there, loads of lorries, loads of staff cars or whatever. You could. Just look at some historical photos. It'd be
absolutely. Or failing that, you could even do it in a sub pen, couldn't you? Put it over the top and look into it section.
A couple of French spies in the corner, and
that's it. Yeah, a couple of hello extras. That's a point. When's the next series of that due out for the TV version of Das Boot?
I don't know. I thought it had finished. I
don't know. It was a bit open ended. I thought perhaps we might get another series out of that.
We might. I don't know. I've not heard anything. So.
No. But no, it looks really nice. There's those figures we were talking about. It says you get 2 separate sets for it, so you get 6 in each. So,
I think the actual chaps on top of the conning tower are the same in both sets.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the deck crews that are different. I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Yes. But no, I must admit, it's really, really nice. Nice set of decals with it as well. So, are they tanks down there? It looks like a tank on the bottom. I'm sure it's not. I don't know what that kill marking actually represents. I can get all the others, aircraft and various bits and pieces, but there's definitely tanks on here.
Perhaps it's a tanker.
I don't know. Perhaps, I don't know, but it has literally got silhouettes of tanks. Well, I'm thinking, is that because they were on a ship and they're going for that version? I don't know. Not being very sort of nautical and naval like this, I wouldn't know. Somebody explained to me why it's got tank kills on it. Unless he's like going along picking them off up the rivers. And...
going along the coast.
Yeah, that's it. But no, anyway, very, very interesting. And I say, I'm glad it's been released. I can see myself doing that at some point as well. I think it's a really nice, interesting subject. And it goes along to those other ones we were saying, because let's face it, the business end of ships in general, conning tower, obviously, in a deck gun on a sub, absolutely 100%. But also the big guns as well, because obviously you've got the big guns from, is it Tackham doing those?
Tackham do them, don't they? Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So again, you can do a little bit of a deck, as we were saying, and all things like that. I know we've had some of the members do them already. And again, I think that's pretty much, if you're not into naval in a big way, especially the bigger scales, then definitely some picking out sections of it, and again, don't take up much room. Nice little areas with them. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, good job with that one.
Yeah,
so
good piece, that.
When can we expect that? Do we know?
Well, we're going to put our order in ASAP because it is out. It is literally out. So we need to do with our supplier. So You never know, you might get one next week.
Cool. That would be nice to do a little review on that one, have a look at it. But yes, definitely. I think it's one of those ones where possibilities are endless, which is nice with it.
Yeah.
Back over to our side of things, we are at the moment said we've got nothing has actually come in this week, unfortunately. We've got no real new releases because obviously we've been doing a lot of the pre-orders and stuff like that and catching up with mugs. But as I say, we've got some along. I'm running a little bit behind as well because, to be honest, because of this, I'm trying to push this thing through because I want to get rid of it. Not that I'm not enjoying it, because I am, but I'm just so behind with this particular build that we need to push on with it. But having said that, I have to thank Mr. Matt Varnish, because I've changed his name now. So Matt Varnish, the AK 3rd Gen one. So that's this stuff, which we sell in the store.
We do.
Did that. So simple to use. It literally, I would say, mixing versions. I started off at around about 70% thinners, but then I upped it a bit because I found it was just a little bit too, it was starting to struggle a little bit through the airbrush. So I was probably at around about 75 to 80% thinners, and I was using Tamiya X28, obviously alcohol based. They do their own thinners and that, though, don't they, Matt, with it? But I have to say, first time I've used it, and that was right on this, and it's got a beautiful matte, slightly got a bit of shine still, and I do like that. I don't like dead flat, because they do another version, don't they, Matt? Ultra?
The Ultra matte, and that is super flat. I really like that because obviously for armour and stuff I do, it's it don't off dead in it, and there is no shine on that. I find with that matte varnish, it has got a bit of a sheen, not a lot.
No. But I like that. I like it to have a little bit of a sheen. I must admit, I'm not one of these people who like varnishes to be dead flat. There's just no reflection, because the thing is, if you look at an aircraft in real life, they've all got to shine somewhere to them. So and in here you've got huge studio lights, so you're going to get even more reflections off of it. But as you say, if you're following this build, you'll know I made multiple cock-ups like I do all the way through this, and so I've got various paint layers on here, I've got various bits of filler and stuff like that, and this really smoothed everything nicely out. It's got a nice finish right the way over it. So even though I was going back and fixing errors and stuff, sometimes you can get that difference in texture of the actual paint. So it's a little bit more glossier, it's a little bit more flat. So sometimes I've had to come in with maybe 2 or 3 coats just over it, just to blend it all down. 1 coat and done. Really nice. It's really thick, this stuff as well. And I'm going to go for the hard sale now. This is great because it's in a good sized bottle that probably lasts your lifetime.
Yeah, you've got to give it a good wake up, though, haven't you? You've got to give it a good shake, a good mix up. The other thing as well, sorry, mate, the other thing with them, they're brushable.
Yes, yeah.
So if you're not an airbrush person, or you don't have an airbrush, you can brush them on as well, and they'll do the same job. So
would you brush it straight out of the bottle, or would you thin it down again?
I'd probably thin it a bit with some of their thinners. So yes.
So the ones they actually got up here, we've got the gloss, obviously. I haven't tried that. You've got a satin. You've got the matte, which is obviously this one is, and they do the ultra matte.
Yeah.
So again, that's proper. Have you tried the ultra matte yet?
That's the one I use a lot. I've tried the satin. I've tried the matte, and I've used it. I mean, I used the ultra matte one on the ambulance build. And like I say, it does just kill it. It's a dead flat finish. So I normally go for like a satin coat just for, capillary action for washers and all bits and bobs. And then I moved, when I was weathering the ambulance, I moved on to doing oils and stuff. So I wanted it flat. It's got something to grip to, and I can move it around. And honestly, it's like amazing for that. And it's good for because I pigmented that as well, which is the first time I used pigments in ages. And again, because it's got dead flat and something to bite to. Yeah. The pigments work really well on it as well. So yeah, again, just depending on what your genre is. Like I say, I reckon between like the satin and the matte one you use for aircraft is perfect. Like I say, I think the ultra is too flat unless you're doing a derelict. Yeah. Or something, that's been stood around for a long time. But again, for armour and stuff, it's perfect because obviously you're going to add layers of more weathering on it than you probably would an aircraft, and it works really good. So yeah, good product. I like it, I've got to say.
But again, from my point of view, obviously I've been using lacquers really exclusively for the last few years, and I haven't actually gone back to using acrylics. And on this particular build, obviously we used their grey primer, and again, really nice, went down nice, smooth. Usual thing, like we spoke before, you've got to shake it thoroughly because it will separate.
Yeah.
It's very watery on the top. You've got some real thick stuff down the bottom. Really wake it up, thin it out properly, and a couple of light coats got really, really good coverage. And again, because it's got that sort of polyurethane in there, it's great for taking care of small little gaps because it literally will cover it. Whereas other fillers and primers, perhaps they're the micro fillers, they're very thin. They don't like gap filling particularly. This will. But the great thing is, even with this, because I put on a couple of good coats on here, all the detail, and I've re-riveted this as well, has all come back. So it's not like you've lost any of that detail, and sometimes it's always the worry. So, even if you flood this on, it should bounce back pretty well, so it does. And it's come back, given a beautiful smooth finish right the way through. So again, from somebody who's notoriously a lacquer painter with everything, I don't use anything unless you've got rapid dry and thinners in it. And but this is the first time I've gone back to using acrylics on this side, and it's both worked really, really nicely. No problem at all. I highly recommend them. But again, it's one of those things. I've struggled with acrylics in the past, but these, the third gen ones, honestly seem to be a little bit of a game changer. You don't have all the problems. And to be honest, I don't remember getting any tip dry or any blocking or stopping and starting or anything else like that. And it just went down really, really well. And when you're dealing a big model like this, it's not like you're doing something small and it takes 2 seconds. You're going over this quite a few times, and say it just carried on, didn't stop, just worked as well as a lacquer would. So, highly recommend those two. Very, very nice. So I have to get hold some Ultra Matte as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with a primer, again, is obviously just you've got to give it the 24 hours to cure before you sand it. Because obviously, we've been through the polyurethane primers before, and they're notorious for peeling, weren't they? And how long they was taking to dry. But to be honest with you, the AK one, it does sound the bottle, so obviously read the instructions. But after 24 hours, you can sand it and it won't peel. And it sands pretty well, actually. It sounds really nice.
It does. And I must admit, I showed it on here and actually demoed it on this one. Yeah. And it beautifully feathered. No peeling or anything else like that. It feathered totally smooth to the rest of it around. So when you do need to sand out any imperfections, it's not a problem. But again, you do need to leave it. You can't say that enough. It's one of those things, 24, 48 hours, forget about it, and then come back and it'll work fine. If you try and do it before, it will peel and it will lift and you'll get all types of trouble.
But then that's what it is, isn't it? But to be honest with you, if you put it with the unicorn of a thinner, the Gen 3 thinners, which seems just amazing stuff I find, because I've been experimenting with other genres of paint, shall we say, in the background.
Yeah.
And, I spoke to you about it, didn't I? And honestly, it was just like, this is just amazing, because no tip dry, which was always one of them. Especially one of the paints I was trying it with as well, and it worked brilliant with that. And it just seems to work. It's just one of them. That thinner just seems to work. It's really good stuff. So I've kind of gone the other way, as like he's a lacquer painter. I've gone back to acrylics now because I can get them to work. But obviously before it was so much easier to use a lacquer. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I kind of wanted to get away from the smelly stuff, so I've gone back and that stuff just works without. I mean, it's still got the extractor and the mask on, but it's not hanging around in the air anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it does with the lacquer thinner. So yeah, pay your money, take your choice, don't you?
The Gaussian, the which if you haven't seen Matt's review, go and see it on YouTube, and the primer that's out of stock, we have got an AK order winging its way to us.
We have.
Which good segue for Matt.
As in by what, for the books?
Yes.
Yes, the books, the pre-order on the books. For our lot, because obviously the FAQ book we had a pre-order up, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That's coming in. So, yeah, that should be an hopefully by sometime next week after, depending on when I get my date. So that's good.
Very nice.
I know we've got more restocks of obviously real colours coming in, and like I say, primers and all the other stuff. So yeah, plenty of AK products coming in.
Cool, yeah. Very good. Including the Goozy, because obviously we're showing we're out of stock. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my super review.
Well, this is it.
Played us out.
If you want to go as well, there's another one. We've been actually using it in anger because I must admit somebody asked me for where the other review was, and it was a long time ago.
Yes.
And I sprayed the F104 Starfighter with over the top of extreme metals, and it's good stuff. It's still here somewhere. Yes, it's in my cabinet. So
yes, it is.
But I can highly recommend that. It doesn't yellow either, which is obviously I know a lot of people's worry with these.
Yeah, got the UV in it, I think.
yeah, definitely. Over in special offers?
I think it's same as, because we haven't really had time really to... We've got a couple of main items at the top. But yeah, like we keep saying, obviously with the mugs coming in, we've been a bit preoccupied sorting them out. So that is actually definitely 100% going to get changed out sort of ASAP, along with the other special offers one as well, because it does need changing up now. It's been in there a while. So sort of last shout definitely on that before we can get it.
So there you go. Get these sorted out before the weekend, people, because it probably change on Friday. So we've got all of those down in there, and then obviously we've got a damaged box section. Yeah. As always, we've got a few out of these now. It's getting a bit thin on the ground.
Yeah.
So
deleted off as well. So sold out.
If you want to get yourself some bargains, obviously they are down in there. And then obviously the book section, we've obviously got the tool section now, the bits and pieces. It's slightly moved around here. As I said before, we've got full restock. So everything coming in as soon as.
Yeah, we've had quite a big Airfix restock actually, the Airfix kits. That's one of the main things. Some of the things that are out of stock down the bottom are probably now going to be back in by the time you watch this, because we've had quite a big restock on Airfix, so yeah.
Very nice. So yes, lots of stuff.
We've took a load out actually that's not in production as well anymore. That's the other thing, because needed going through. Probably a lot of that's coming.
A lot of that is
It will be back in stock by the time you see this. So if you need an Airfix kit.
Very nice. Lots of bits and pieces down in there. Cool. Right. If we go over to pre-orders.
Can do. I don't know what's up there, but you can do.
I was going to say various ones up here.
We're waiting. It's a waiting game for pricing.
Yes.
There's a few bits that's gone up onto it, but we've got no pricing to actually put up. So we need. I think everybody's holding off because of the instability of what things are costing. You know.
Yeah.
So they're waiting till last minute to commit to a price. Before we get to know. So yeah, we've got a good feeling. Obviously, we've shut a few down because I know they're literally imminent, and one of them was helicopter spoke about last week.
Yeah,
the ICM helicopter, I think that's going to be doing the next few weeks. So we've shut that, and there's a couple of others as well that have closed because I think they're imminent as well. So yeah, but as for new ones, like I say, as soon as we get some pricing, we can get up there. So.
Yes. Which
if you still want a clock, though, the clock's still open, so we've got plenty. If you still want a PM clock,
yes, don't forget clocks.
Show them.
Hold on, there it is.
That's the one.
So it's little PMs behind. Somebody said to me, sometimes, and I can understand the slight confusion. If you're looking at it on your phone, for instance, it's actually that's PMs underneath in like white and grey. It's not like one of those where it's got nothing behind it. Where sometimes you have the photos.
I've just had a thought. Shouldn't one half be PM and the other half be AM?
That would have been quite clever, that, yeah. If you'd done AM and PM.
You've just said about
it. So there we go. Perhaps we'll design another one later on that might have something like that on it. So, but anyway, you've got the clock to say it's 20 centimetres. It is glass, so it's not some piece of plastic and all the rest of it, although the mechanism probably does come from China. It's on a weather balloon coming across.
or little green men.
Or little green men, yeah, because they always travel in little balloons as well.
Yeah.
So
eco-friendly, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. Just riding the wind. That's it. It's been absolutely fine.
Lots of memes and things, aren't there, on the internet at the moment about weather balloons and things. And
I think some of the funny ones is obviously the Raptor's first kill happened to be a balloon.
Yeah.
And everyone's done lots of memes on like F-15s have got like 100 kills and F-16s got over 100 kills and all the rest of aircraft.
Yeah.
And like the most expensive fighter in history was shot down a balloon.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Well, this is it. And so, yes, definitely. Right. So anyway, if you do fancy a clock, obviously pop your name down and it'll be the same. So what I think we'll do, aren't we, Matt, is obviously after the initial pre-order, it will go out to everybody.
Yeah. If anybody wants one for the cave, I've got one for mine. I'll be putting it up, hopefully.
Yes, I'll have one down in here as well.
Yeah.
So, yes, definitely.
And Andy's going to make a space behind his head and put one up there.
He's going to have to remove a sticker.
or movie stickers.
Yeah, that's it. And he can stick it behind his head. No, don't want to do that because then people know what time we're recording this.
Yes, true.
That's a good point.
You have to change it like they do on TV programs, right? Set the time to like 9:30.
Well, it's 8 minutes past 10 in the morning. If you
It
really
is.
want
We
to
are
know.
doing it nice and early this morning.
Yeah, we could do a time check like radio do.
You know what happened with us though? They'll all be different. Everyone's clock will show a different time though. It does.
Well, we should have different time zones.
Well, yeah, that's what you need. Lots of them. You need like 4 or 5 on the wall with all the time zones.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
all the PM store areas. You
Just
know,
have a little sticker underneath though, saying which which continent the time zone
you're
is.
actually on.
Which county you live in?
Yes, which county? It's different over here.
Yeah.
We're about 13 seconds behind you lot.
Devon, Nottinghamshire, Yorkshire.
That's it. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, and Lancashire, where Nathan's on.
When Lancashire with Nathan's on, yeah, definitely. And Jonkin Somerset.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so popping over to questions then. We've only got a couple in here. So the first one is from Steve. He says, "Hi chaps, are you doing a pre-order for the Revell N1 Starfighter and the Platinum Edition Razor Crest?"
Yes, we will. The thing why we're holding off is because of Revell's release dates. We don't want to do one too early and, you get too excited and it be like we did with the Hurricane and 12 months later or whatever it is, it actually turns up, like at Christmas. So when we know properly, when it's coming, we'll whack a pre-order up. So then there's not such a long wait. Because obviously people put the name down, forget they put the name down, and then, it can cause hassle for us later on. So we'd rather be a bit nearer the date. So there's less lead time on it. We get them in, you get them. Everybody's like,
We even get people put the name down, then about 6 months later, because it's still up there, put the name down again.
Yeah, because we mention it and go, oh, yeah, you pre-orders go for this, and we read that a couple of times as well. So, yes. But yes, we will definitely be doing both, especially for the N1 as well. I think we'll prioritise that probably over the Platinum Edition. But that looks all right. I presume you want one of those, do you?
I might do, yes.
Someone messaged me about the Aston Martin James Bond. Is it James Bond Aston Martin that's coming out?
DB5.
Yeah.
DB5 asked me about that, and by when actually looked, it's not coming out until August.
Yeah, so nearer the time.
Now it's we'll leave it till.
Yeah, I don't even know when the N1's due out. Does anybody know that?
No. That's nice. It's quite a big one, isn't it? It's a nice scale.
Yeah, it's a nice scale on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it needs to be, because otherwise it's going to be a right little tiddler, isn't it?
Yeah.
David's also saying about he's received his 1/35th scale KA29 of the Helix. This is the big one. I did the little one, which was Hobby Boss, wasn't it? Did the 40th scale one? Yeah. It's very nice. And also he's got the Snowman edition, which Snowman is just the other name for trumpeter. Sorry, not trumpeter. Tackham.
Yeah.
For the Apache as well. And he's basically just saying that they're fantastic detail and all the rest of it. What does he say? Once they get into the UK, obviously we'll do a proper review of them, but he's got his direct out of China.
I was about to say he's not got that from us.
Anyway, Peter says, "Hi guys." He's noticed that the prices are really ramping up, more so on some items than other. He's noticed that the Hobby Boss 1/72 Topol M is £117, whilst the Zvezda one is being offered between 25 and 35. There's lots more examples.
Hold on a minute, are they different scales?
That does seem to be a massive jump in price.
The Zvezda 1/72 is the thingy 1/35th.
It says 1/72 on it.
Yeah.
Oh, is the thing 1/72 as well? I have seen one come out actually, because I didn't really look at the scale because it's just been released, I think. So, blimey.
Okay, I'll show my ignorance. What is, with probably 90% of the viewers, what is a Tupol M?
It's a ballistic missile lorry thing. Yeah.
Oh right, so it's a launcher unit.
It's a big lorry with a big missile on the back.
Got you.
Vestas has been out for ages. Last time we went to Hobbyco, and how long ago was that? And it was out then. We have had them in the old Sylvester ones back when they were first released. Blimey, that is a big price difference. If that is, like you say, they're both 72nd. I could understand if one was 35th and, but I take his word. If they're both 72nd, because Peter knows his stuff, I'm not going to question him.
I'm just looking at the prices of the, he's right, 100 odd quid for the thing one, and the Zvezda one, retail price is 37 quid.
So there you go. And that's with the extra 10% Russian tax.
Yeah.
So I can't comment. I must admit, I don't know these at all.
Right,
It's out of my pay, well above my pay grade, all of this. I just talk about the kits, the plastics, not the pricing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same one, you know.
Oh, perhaps it's different, is it?
Got an extra wheel.
Oh, no, it is. I thought it was a different type of truck, but no, it is the same, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's big difference in price, isn't it?
That's huge.
To be honest,
again,
go on, sorry,
sorry,
I was about to say, I have noticed the price rise in Hobby Boss and stuff, to be honest, when it's coming, but
yeah.
We don't
again, yeah, we often talk about prices, and I know we're going to have a bit of a discussion about this on tomorrow night's show as well.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, sometimes prices naturally are going up. If you think of the inflation in the world, just as a general, you know, we now 10 point whatever percent now. It's gone down a little bit here in the UK, but inflation is absolutely horrendous. But we know just for ourselves from a company point of view, you know, the cost of just running the unit, putting the lights on, the water bill, you know, all the things and that, the costs are just going up through the roof. You know, modelling is not immune to it. It's the same as, you know, the gas and electric and all the bits and pieces, you know, at some point prices do have to rise. But I would hope they wouldn't just jump by almost 100 quid.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll be forced to build my stash, and it's looking a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Back to monogram kits, everyone.
Hey,
Peach, if you do want the Hobby Boss one, you let us know. We'll get it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody does want one. Because there's no wrong with building your stash.
No, absolutely. And as I say, some of the good old classic kits, you know, as you say, like me and Matt both got into monogram big time, obviously last year.
I enjoyed that monogram kit. I really did.
Yeah, as you say, you can. There's some nice older kits out there. You can get a really good price. You know.
It's a breath of fresh air in a funny way to say it was 50-year-old or however old it was.
Absolutely, I must admit, doing that voodoo, it was just. It's almost like building like you were a kid when you didn't care.
I was about to say that. You know, move back to your childhood, but you'd not without sticky fingers and messing up those clear pots, if you know what I mean.
And I think a lot of that is as well. I must admit, you know, just slightly on this note, we'll talk probably more about this tomorrow night, but it's that thing where when you're building a kit like this and it's like, I don't know, 150 quid, you're so terrified about screwing it up because it costs a lot of money. But when you were young, you used to build kits and you didn't care if you stuffed them up because it was your pocket money, and if it goes bang, and I'm probably going to shoot it later anyway or set fire to it in the garden. So, you know, you didn't care. And that's the nice thing. You're more relaxed with your modelling. When you're doing stuff like this, you know, and you're invested into it. And some of the other kits that I've done that have been 300, 400, 900 quid in some cases on a kit, you're so worried about wrecking it or cocking it up that it doesn't make it enjoyable. So sometimes I think that's really why I like doing the monogram one, because at the end of the day it's simpler build construction wise and it goes together really well and you're not breaking the bank, you know, and it's like you can just have fun with it, you can let yourself go.
But we've always said it's something I've been thinking, obviously, from our video, obviously doing that ambulance from Airfix, and I know that's a new release, but it's very simplified. If you want to not comparison, but you know, if you go into the Gecko kit and that, they're two different kits completely.
Yeah.
And you know, I actually enjoyed it because it was simplified, if you know what I mean. There weren't heavy parts count on it. You could chuck it together in a weekend if you're that way inclined, and get painted and do whatever you want to do, and it's finished, isn't it? Where sometimes, like you say, you do your bigger projects and that you can be bogged down with stuff as well that you don't see.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been weighing up with what I'm building. Is like, well, is it worth my time and effort to put into it? Especially when you're doing a video build as well, because obviously you've got to think of a time and how many, you know, I don't want it like 1,000 parts just to build an engine and a chassis or inside of a turret or wherever it's going to be. You want to break it down, but then, you know, if you're trying to stick to a schedule kind of thing, so you've got to weigh up how long it's going to take in your head.
Yeah.
And all that, and what's the bits to show and what's not. And yeah, I mean, it's just something I've been thinking about, obviously, this year of where I want to go with my videos and what I want to show and what I don't, if you know what I mean. So, yes, it's an interesting concept, though, isn't it?
It is, and I think that is the thing, though, as you say, with the prices the way they're going at the moment, things are going up. I can see people building their stashes a little bit more and going back, and perhaps aftermarket, you might think, well, look, I could do that, and then instead of buying a kit costing 100 plus quid these days, you know, you can buy a 35 quid upgrade set for something you've got in your stash, which, you know, I've been in this business so long now, You know, I remember the giant crash back in the early 2000s, you know, when I was modelling and I was doing commission work back then. That was literally all I did. So I noticed it as well from people doing commissions with me. And, you know, with that I would say, oh, you could do a nice 30-second one, and we'll do the 48 scale one because it's half the price, you know, and things like that. But people still do their hobbies. It's the one thing I've noticed. So it didn't matter if I was doing this from a commission point of view or if it was for, you know, personal point of view with you guys. It's that thing where people will find a way of doing their hobbies. It's very, you know, it's one of those things where I wouldn't say we are recession proof, you know, but it's definitely where people still, you know, perhaps they won't buy that mega price kit, but, you know, there is other options out there. And as what we said as well, it doesn't matter if you're a, you know, limitless budget, build massive kits, or you build 72nd scale kits and right the way through. The nice thing with this hobby as well is that there is kits for everybody's pocket. Like Matt was just saying, you know, if you wanted to, you don't want to do the gecko because you're not really worried about all the details, all the rest of it. The Airfix ambulance is an absolute stunner. Yeah, Matt's proven that. That's a really, really nice kit, and it goes together very, very well, with the exception of the roof, which we still haven't worked out.
No, they haven't worked out the roof bit. Super glue the
roof down. It's fine now.
Bothered, but yeah, it's a bit of an odd when everything else fits like a glove and the roof didn't. The front, well, it's not even the back bit actually. It was the front cap roof was weird. I don't know. Perhaps it's something I did. I'm not going to blame the kit because that's the easy option out. It could have been my mistake, which more likely it was, to be honest. You know, but yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. But there you go. It's done anyway, so it's fine. I'm on to the base now. I'll tell you what I have used yesterday, and it's something we've started to stock, is the VMS Smart Mud.
Right.
If you could go back to VMS for me on there.
Yeah.
Because somebody were asking about it, I did say, didn't I? So if you go to our VMS products, which the Smart Mud with that, and it's a really good product. But again, this is probably me, but it's very messy.
Yes.
It's very sticky, and I mean, I don't know what it's based. It's very clay. Very feels like clay, which it could be. Yeah. Like I say, like an air dry clay or whatever they've done for it. I don't know what the ingredients are, but it's very good for terrain.
Right.
It's really, really good for it. You know, once you get your head round how to use it. I was using my fingers, if I'm honest, and dipping it in and smearing it on and stuff, because you have to really press it in, which it does say as well, because I did watch a VMS video on how to use it and stuff. You really have to press it in to make it sort of grip. Yeah. And then once it's grip, you can actually go over it with some more, and then it'll be fine, because obviously it'll stick to itself, kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's got a lot of potential, that product, I've got to say. But you need something underneath it. Like I think the thing I learned from watching other people use it, as you can't just stick it over the bare foam. It needs something underneath it, hence why I use that paper mache product that I've got. Or if you've got the AK mud in a tub, you know, the really gloopy stuff, you can put it over that. It just needs something to grip to really stick, I think. But yeah, it's an interesting product. Like I say, you can see it when the video comes out of me.
Do they do different colours, shades?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's that one, and then obviously you can paint it once it dries, paint over it and all that stuff. But you know, if you put in like stones or scatter or whatever, because it's quite sticky, you can put that over straight away and press it all in, and it'll bond to it really well. So it's interesting product. I'll show you tomorrow night anyway, my base from where I'm at with it anyway. So yeah,
good. But, something new.
Yes, definitely. Okay. There you go.
There we go. Right. Okay then, guys. Well, we can leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Pleasure as always. Don't forget, you get all usual bits over at the PM store. Just pop over. Obviously, links are down below as always. But say if you do want to go to pmmodelsuk.com and you can see our store. And like Matt was saying, I know we've got a huge restock of AK coming in, haven't we?
Yeah, we've not long had one already, and then we've got another one obviously on its way with the books, and another one in the pipeline, and also Attacker has been restocked, I think, as well. We had an Attacker restock that's been done. So all the usual paints and sundries are on it as well. The only thing we're out of at the minute, which again we're back to just probably get a thing on, is leveling thinners. We've got plenty of rapid thinner, plenty of normal, and all the other bits and bobs. But yeah, we need to do a Mr. Hobby order as well. So we're just keeping on top of all that sort of stuff we're selling. And basically the Tamiya stuff, if you see with the LP, We're just waiting. It's all on back order, so
yeah,
it's ordered. We're just waiting for it to actually come in. So, well, yeah,
cool.
no, from that, all good.
There we go. Right, okay then, guys. So we'll see members obviously tomorrow night for the Flooring Models live show at 7:30. Love to have you along with that one. I'll be back with you on Friday for the weekly catch up, and obviously the next part of the F15 build will be up with the members as well on that one. Right, so until tomorrow, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.